So how is the ceasefire and the hostage release going from Israel's perspective? Let's ask Dr. Ophir Falk. He is a foreign policy advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Dr. Falk, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Let me just ask that question I was discussing with Alex Hogan. I don't know if you heard, but as to the sentiment of the Israeli people right now, are they more interested in getting the hostages back than they are in immediately pursuing the case against Hamas in Gaza?
Thank you for having me, David. Well, we have two missions in this war. One is to destroy Hamas, and the other is to free the hostages. Those two missions are not mutually exclusive. To the contrary, they actually complement one another. We're doing everything we can right now to get the hostages out, to free the hostages as quickly as possible. And immediately after this pause for humanitarian purposes, we will continue to destroy Hamas. There's no other alternative but to destroy this genocidal organization.
But it does seem that Hamas itself is trying to string out the release as long as possible to maintain the ceasefire as long as possible in order to regroup their fighting against Israel. Is that not correct?
Well, Israel is fully united, completely united. The people are united. The government is united. Prime Minister Netanyahu's war cabinet is completely united to destroy Hamas and to free the hostages. We've been united like never before. Clearly, the Hamas want to extend this pause. The only thing that has facilitated this pause and the release of hostages is the pressure that the IDF has pounded Hamas. And that's actually the only thing that will continue to facilitate the hostage release.
But I'm just wondering, how much longer will this process take? And in that time, which could be weeks, if you only are able to get a dozen or fewer hostages per day, because there's still another 200 and so hostages remaining, correct? And so it could take a long time before you're able to continue with your fight against Hamas.
True. So the deal that was structured, that the United States and the president personally helped structure, is that for every 10 hostages released, there will be one more day of pause. So for every 10 hostages released, Hamas will live for another day. But at the end of the day, Hamas will be destroyed.
So I'm just doing a quick calculation. That adds up to about a month of a pause. That's a long time during which Hamas could restructure itself militarily, no?
Well, we're fully prepared to return the fight back into Gaza and into Hamas, and we have absolutely no other alternative. The day after Hamas will be built on a 3D model. One is to destroy Hamas. Two is to demilitarize Gaza, so there will be no threat to Israel from the 360 square kilometers south of our border. And three, and most importantly, is to de-radicalize Gaza and the Palestinian society. Once we do that, once we destroy, demilitarize, and de-radicalize Gaza, we will be able, or the international community will be able to rebuild Gaza with a hope for peace.
Let me just ask how Israel is going about its daily business, doing things like farming, keeping the factories going, etc. Has all that been put on a pause, or is it continuing, and is the country continuing to run?
Israel is a vibrant democracy and a striving economy. We have a striving economy, and after the initial setback of a few days, the Israeli economy is back almost to normal. Clearly, we're in war right now, and it affects the public, and the public is concerned. And we have tens of thousands of reservists taking part in the war against Hamas and to dismantle Hamas. But Israel is also a country that is used to war. We've had 5 different wars, and we know how to bounce back. And we have a strong economy, and Israel, is a modern miracle.
I don't know if you heard our discussion with General Jack Keane, but we were talking about the role that Iran has played and continues to play in the situation, not only with Hamas, but also in Hezbollah, that its involvement goes beyond just financing those terrorist organizations, but actually is involved in command and control of those organizations. What are your feelings about that?
Right. So clearly, the Hamas and the Hezbollah are proxies of Iran. 93% of the military budget for Hamas comes from Iran, and we know what their responsibility is. I would suggest that Iran listen closely and carefully to the President of the United States, who told them not to enter this war. And if they think of entering the war, they should simply don't enter it. I think they haven't done so to date, but we're fully prepared for a second front, which we do not want. We do not want a second front. We're fully focused on destroying Hamas and freeing our hostages. But if a second front is opened against us, we are prepared, and we'll do what's needed.
Dr. Ophir Falk, we thank you very much for joining us. Our best wishes. Let's hope that we get out all of the hostages as soon as possible. And best of luck to you, sir. Thank you very much.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.